Hi, so I'm going to start by saying thank you for having here this webinar. And my name is Rida Klink. I represent Augment in the quality of CEO and founder. Augment has been in Luxembourg since early 2019, and we delve in the facility management industry, especially in the software and systems part of it. Now, so first of all, in order to talk about digitization, we have to understand the context behind it, how facilities are run without digitization itself. Now, the Sydney Opera House is a very well-known building today. It's a building that has been built using industry standards, and today we can kind of track a little bit how data is managed behind it. So after a couple of decades of operations, we can notice that the information system itself is very paper-based, very independent, very segregated, and very fragmented. So in and of itself, the real problem here is data, where it is, how it's stored, how it's shared, and if it's there and even accurate by itself. Now, in order to talk more about digitization, in our really humble opinion, is the key to efficiency and the right step toward bringing values to your assets, whether it's land or facilities themselves. Now, moving forward, I'm gonna allow myself to talk about digitization itself. So the question is, how does digitization really bring value to a property? Although we all know that data today is more valuable than oil, like in practice, how is it applied? So I'm gonna allow myself to read a little bit here from the quote that I love. So digitization of real estate assets will help facility, asset, and property managers to take better decisions, decrease costs, and increase business performance through efficient information access and software. So the real power here of digitization is how we consume the information that has been made available to us, and how the software developed on top of it uses this data. So moving on to the next slide. I'm sorry, taking a little bit of time. It's lagging a bit. Okay, yes. So digitization in the built environment is not only physical, as assets nowadays are extended by additional layers of information. So in the built environment, both aspects are very critical: information digitization and physical digitization. To talk more about physical digitization itself, technology today made it possible to go very much into details in physical digitization of buildings. Now, the reason physical digitization is essential in the building environments digitization, it brings context to digitize information. So it becomes the basis of navigation and the link to the real world between all this data and our facilities. It is also essential for geometry data, area, space identification, AutoCAD documents. It also adds a lot of value on the commercial side, as these 3D models can be hosted on the web, can be used in virtual visits, and can be segregated to allow tenants, if they're using this 3D model itself, to only see their part of the building. Now, these 5 formats today are obviously BIM compatible, and they can freely enter and exit this ecosystem. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about information digitization. So as a direct consequence, this digitization of information in facility management, it will make the building run smoother. So if facility management data is available today, for example, it has been proven just by the fact that it's being there and it's being structured to decrease maintenance costs by about 10%. This is just a database without any software on top of it. Now, it will allow for also this information digitization. It will allow to connect IoT sensors, and it will allow to exchange data with other software in real time. And if this data is structured enough, it can be interchangeable with BIM, and it can be used to develop BIM compatible and standardized software. So right now, sorry for the pun again, I couldn't resist, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what Augment does. So as we saw value in the built environments digitization, we decided to develop this kind of suite of software that will ease this digitization process and leverage the power of the collected data along the way. So this is our bread and butter. This is the 3D modeling. This is the first service we propose. It's one of our core competencies, and technology today allows us to generate 3D models, just like mentioned before, via drones and laser scanners at the centimeter and millimeter level precision. It will be hosted on the web. It can be hosted on the web. We can perform virtual visits on it from the inside, from the outside, and we will even be able to manipulate a little bit this 3D model. Now, it also allows us to analyze geometrical data and export this 3D model into 2D file formats as well. So now I'm going to talk about the facility information model. The facility information model itself is a software purely oriented towards facility management and digitization. Its role really will be to automatically extract information from a facility's facility management documents, shop drawings, technical information, and so on and so forth, via an AI module or an AI extension that it has, and automatically classify it, store it, and allow it to be visible on this 3D model. So this software, the facility information model, will be creating a 3D resource, spare and equipment inventory, as well as a preventive maintenance schedule for the facility if need be. Now we're focusing still on equipment. The equipment part of the facility of the preventive maintenance schedule has been done, automatic generation, and the second part of it, which is space preventive maintenance schedule, such as cleaning schedules, will be added later on. Now, to finalize, I want to talk about the smart viewer. Today, connecting the facility is something that is extremely critical. Thanks to Polar's help, we have been able today to develop what we call the smart viewer. So with Polar, we've focused on water and utilities monitoring. I'll get into that a little bit later. So in order to connect the facility to its environment, Augment has developed the smart viewer. And basically what it will allow to do, it will allow any IoT device to connect to it. And as of today, the smart viewer only allows to monitor utilities, download detailed reports, and send reports to tenants. It will also allow to set triggers and alerts, for instance, a consumption that goes too high or too low. Now, soon the smart viewer will also allow the user to manage tenants' maintenance. So a tenant will be able to access his own space in 3D within the building, whether it's retail or commercial or residential. The tenant itself will be able to manage their water, see their water electricity consumption, thanks to Polar's sensors that we have incorporated in the smart viewer already. And at a later stage, it will be able to actually report and ask for maintenance on his 3D space as well, thus creating this kind of unified, centralized place to basically give and take information about the facility. Now, very customizable as well. And yes, I believe I'm gonna. And yes, apart from the customizability, I think this is the end of our time together. I hope that I've contributed even a little bit to uncover the value of digitization. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me.